Well, I guess after graduation, I went into nursing. Well, I had a good friend, Marilyn Schwager, and she took me to Moravian church camp over in Chautauqua, Wisconsin. You know where Chautauqua, Wisconsin is? And at that time there was a Moravian church camp, and my folks said, "Well, sure, you can go." And the nurse, the camp nurse, wore a white hat, a white uniform, no slacks, of course, back then, and white shoes. And she'd come to our cabin every night to make sure we had a good time, but we didn't get in any trouble. And now, she was somebody that I thought, oh, I want to be a nurse like that. Not Florence Nightingale, but Florence Schubert. And so I talked to her about it, and she said, oh, just take your grades and go up to the school, Methodist Kaler School of Nursing, and, talk to them. And so I did. And Gilberta Derlett was the head of the school. And she said, if you were going to be a nurse, why didn't you take chemistry and biology and all those subjects? Why were you taking, shorthand and typing? And I said, well, my folks told me I was going to be a secretary. And back then, you always did what your folks told you. Until I met Florence Schubert. And the minute I mentioned her name, and of course, Gilberta Derland recognized her name because she had graduated from the Methodist Kaler School of Nursing. She must have been a pretty good student, because just like that, I was in like Flynn. And I thought that maybe I would like to be work with the nurses that went out to schools and worked with people who were in their homes. And so I was there for about a year. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll go to University of Minnesota, because you really needed more education to do that kind of work. Mm-hmm. And then, somewhere along the line, I met this man, Roy, and he was the first man I ever kissed. Yes, you were. And I just never went out with boys in high school.
Mm-hmm. So how'd you guys meet?
Well, on a blind date.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of pressure.
He was pretty handsome.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, he still is. Look at his picture over here. Here's a picture of him.
Well, it went pretty good, so we had another date.